Chris, are you?
Hello, Sally Mary. Thank you so much for the introduction. We appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. You are a superstar. You rock. Thanks for your time and service as well. All right, everybody. Hey, we're going to get started. My name is Chris Lattin. I'm coming to you from Enterprise, Alabama. As Sally Mary said, I have been a part of the military for about 40 years. I did 25 years active duty. I currently work as a Department of Army civilian. I train folks to fly Black Hawk helicopters at night with night vision goggles. I feel like I have a pretty cool job. I like what I do. Not everybody can say that about their job. And speaking about jobs, you know, most of the time we are working a job that we really don't care for, really just to make ends meet. And so how many of you would agree with me that the economy is crazy? Drop a 1 in the chat. If you think the economy is crazy right now, how many know what the inflation rate is up over the last year? Think about that. What is the inflation rate? Drop whatever that percentage is you think in there. All right, I see a couple 11s in there. Yep, 9%. All right, awesome. Well, when you look at this, what the inflation rate is, it's anywhere between 8 and 12%. And when you think about it, you know, there's just an announcement just recently that said, hey, we're down 3%, but they don't tell you that we're up 12%. And so when you look at the inflation rate up 9% over the last year, did you guys get a 9% pay raise? I know I didn't. And so this is why people are working harder. This is why people hate their jobs, because they're not making enough money to keep up with inflation. How about I show you something that keeps up with inflation? We're going to talk about gold and silver. And a lot of times people check out when they hear the term gold and silver. Don't be that person, because I'm going to share with you the secret. The secret is these two items. So I'm holding up a silver dollar, a 1 ounce silver coin, and I'm holding up a gold buffalo. So these two items are the only thing that keeps up with inflation. All right. If you think inflation is out of control, we're going to show you a way that you can keep up with inflation and also exceed inflation. So what we're going to talk about here is precious metals, and it comes from our Wealth Strategies booklet. When I was introduced to this, it was about 6.5 years ago. And I will tell you, I didn't know anything about gold and silver, and I really didn't know anything about networking as well. And so because my area of expertise is aviation, I've been doing that for 33 of the 40 years that I've been a part of the military. So the information I'm going to share with you comes from our Wealth Strategies booklet. You know, when I was introduced to this 6.5 years ago, I was not only flying helicopters at night, but I had 2 traditional businesses I was running during the day. I had a lawn care business that I ran for close to 7 years and an auto detailing business for 2 years. Really, why was I doing that? Because inflation is crazy, and I was trying to make that extra stream of income. And I think a lot of us try to do that. You know, how can we make some more money? We end up working overtime. We can usually do that. We can work overtime to make an additional stream of income. But you know what? We're going to talk about additional stream of income. And then also we're going to talk about time freedom. So if any of this makes sense to you, stick around. And I always think it's important that people have an open mind. I kind of liken that to my first couple of years in the military. I jumped out of airplanes, and I got to tell you, my parachute was super valuable when it was open. And again, it's like the mind. If your mind is open to something, if your mind is open to new ideas, you can learn. And that can be very valuable. So we always start out with economy stuff. Are you working harder just to get by? And really, everybody is. Everyone is working harder. There's a statistic out there that that nearly half of Americans could not cover the cost of a $400 emergency. Think about that. $400 emergency. You might be that person that says, man, I just don't have $400. And so I'd have to use my credit card, or I have to rely upon borrowing. And really, why is that? And it's because of the decline of the dollar. The dollar has gone down over 97% in this graph. And this is over a 100-year span. We're talking 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created, a dollar was a dollar. Okay. But your buying power for the dollar right now is not the same as it was 100 years ago. I think most of you would agree with me that $100 today does not buy what $100 bought 5 years ago. And not, you know, we're talking, I know we weren't around 100 years ago, but 5 years ago we were, and it still doesn't buy the same amount of stuff. And that's really because we keep pumping dollars into the system. And when dollars are pumped into the system, the dollar gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971. What that really means is we are a fiat currency. So currency is what we're using for an exchange, but money is real gold and silver, real gold and silver. And so we're going to show with not only these, the buying power has gone down over 97%, but look at these statistics for only a 23-year time frame. Groceries up or 343% in a 23-year time frame. Did you get a 343% pay raise? I know I didn't. And we always ask the question, why? What's going on? Why are these prices the way they are? And again, it's because of the fiat currency. We've seen these currencies fail in the past. Really, every fiat currency in the past has failed. And so the writing's on the wall. And I'm not trying to scare anybody about the economy, but the writing is on the wall where the dollar is headed. So here's where we want to make that case for sound money. Hopefully I grabbed your attention at the beginning that gold and silver keep up with inflation. Governments, financial institutions, they've been using this secret for ages. And think about this. Gold and silver has been a means of trade for over 5,000 years. What that means is whatever the currency is, gold and silver has always been able to purchase it and again, keep up with inflation. Here's a couple more examples. This one on the left is with silver. In 1965, for 2,500 paper dollars or 2,500 ounces of silver, you could have purchased a new Mustang. In today's market, there is no way you're getting a Mustang for 2,500 bucks. It is just not possible. But the same amount of silver you can see has a value of $67,000. And that's based off of $26 an ounce. This Silver Eagle has a value of closer to $35 an ounce. And so the reality is you can buy two Mustangs and still have some money left over. Same thing with gold. The average cost of a home was $169,000 in 2000. That was equivalent to 626 ounces of gold. But the same amount of gold today, you could buy 3 homes and they value over $1 million. Think about that, folks. If you owned 626 ounces of gold in 1965, it's now worth over $1 million. So doesn't it make sense to trade your fiat currency that keeps going down in value for gold and silver that keep continuing to keep up with inflation and go up in value? It just makes sense. If that makes sense to you, drop a 2 in the chat. If it makes sense to purchase gold and silver that keep up with inflation, drop a 2 in the chat. Yes, thank you. All right, so now we know it's important to own precious metals. You probably have questions like, what should I buy? Who should I trust? And I think that's a big one. A lot of times we don't know who to trust. And, you know, when you walk up to a car salesman, you know you can't trust them. You don't know them, but somebody that you know, like, and trust invited you to hear about what we have to offer. And so realize this is the type of people that we do business with, people we know, like, and trust. How much does it take to get started? And do I need to be an expert to win? Well, there's lots of answers to that. We actually believe that things should be a whole lot easier. We think that everyone should own precious metals. Now, you know, I mentioned that I've been a part of the military for 40 years. Not once in the military did anyone teach the importance of owning precious metals. I went to high school. Most people do. Not once did they teach the importance of owning precious metals. I went to college later in life. I got my degree when I was about 33, 34 years old. Not once in college did they teach the importance of owning precious metals. And so really, why is that? Why aren't they teaching us that? And I think it's really, they don't want us to know. They want us to just keep working. And so here, again, we believe that everyone should own precious metals, and we want to introduce our company. Our company is 7K. 7K is a member direct marketing company, a network marketing company. Networking just really means word of mouth. When I had my lawn care business, that was the very best way to grow my business. It wasn't billboards, it wasn't TV ads, it wasn't radio ads, it was word of mouth. And that's what we do. We're a community that help people grow wealth and protect their wealth. And it all started with these 4 gentlemen. These 4 guys came together not because they need or want my money or your money. They came together because they wanted to give back to the community where they made their money, which is networking. Now, they also wanted to change networking because networking has, some people really like it and some people hate it. You think about networking, they go, man, I'm staying away from that. Well, and that's really because of products out there, compensation plans out there, and nothing bad about any of those other companies. But these guys wanted to improve networking in 2 ways. One, provide a product that was truly valuable. And so we're talking gold and silver, folks. This is a 100-ounce silver bar. This is a real tangible asset. So they're talking about gold and silver, the stuff that keeps up with inflation. And they also wanted to make it so the average person could make an above average income. And when I say average person, I'm talking about that person that could not cover the cost of a $400 emergency. I'm talking about the person that works 40 hours a week and still is struggling to get by. I'm talking about the single parent out there that's struggling to get by. They wanted to make it so the average person, the one that's trying to start a business just to make extra money so they can make an additional stream of income. So you're probably wondering how they did this. We did it through a membership model, such as Sam's Club, Costco, Amazon Prime. And with memberships, you receive some sort of goods or services at a discounted price. Think about that. There's Sky Miles memberships, there's gym memberships, golf memberships. Well, here we have a membership to an exclusive buying club where we have access to physical gold and silver bars and rounds. There's no minimums, no maximums. We only sell inventory that we have. We have fractional gold and silver. So what that really means, fractional gold and silver, think about this. I've got this 1 ounce gold buffalo. I've also got this 1 ounce gold walking liberty and with an eagle on the other side. So if I can't purchase this coin outright, which is around $2,300 right now, I can buy a little bit at a time. I could buy $20. I could buy $50 or $100. And I could do a little bit each month if I choose to do it that way. That's fractional gold and silver. So again, we have access to silver and gold bars, silver and gold rounds, and fractional gold and silver. And we call this the defense. This is the defense against the crazy economy. But let's also talk about an offensive strategy. An offensive strategy, we're talking about collectibles. And really, what are collectibles? Collectibles are something that are low mintage, meaning rare, incredible design, great story, historical significance. And we're looking at a few things. These are just some examples, okay? And this is not the stuff that we're selling, okay? The information here is just to give you the context about collectibles. So take this amazing fantasy Spider-Man magazine from 1962, originally 12 cents. You can see on the left side of the screen, someone purchased that for $3.6 million. So what were they paying for? They weren't paying for the 12-cent magazine. They were paying for the historical significance, the beautiful design, the great artwork, and also the fact that it's low mintage. And I'm also going to emphasize kept in perfect or near perfect condition. Mickey Mantle baseball cards sold for $12 million. But folks, most of us don't have $3 million laying around to buy a comic book. But are you the type of person that has maybe $90? Because this is the type of stuff that we're looking at. We're looking at coins. We're looking at gold and silver that are collectibles that meet the formula: low mintage, incredible design, great story, historical significance. We're talking about things, again, like this Tiffany art coin, $90 originally in 2004, now sells for over $10,000. How about the Julius Caesar coin? I'm holding up one of those right here. Purchased this for $349, now sells for over $1,000. Montana butterfly, I got one right here. Montana butterfly, originally $139, now sells for over $1,500. So this is the stuff we're talking about with collectibles. And you have access to that here at 7K. You don't have to be the expert to win. We've got a team of experts that are looking for rare coins that have the most potential to go up in value. And we have access to those coins through the Autosaver program, which I really, really like. Where we have currently 4 autosavers to choose from. We have 7K Select. Again, these are coins that a team of experts are selecting that have the most potential to go up in value. Now, we don't know what the value is going to be 5 years, 10 years from now, but what we do know is historically, the MS-70s have always gone up in value. And so, it just makes sense. Again, I'm trading my fiat currency for something that is a real tangible asset. The fiat currency that keeps going down in value, and my gold and silver collectibles that continue to go up in value. And again, if that makes sense to you, drop a 3 in the chat. If that makes sense to trade your fiat currency for collectibles, things that go up in value. Now, a lot of times people say to me, Chris, okay, I get it. Thanks. I'm so glad you shared this with me. What do I buy? Well, folks, I'm not your financial advisor or planner. I can't give you that information. I can tell you what I buy, but realize that's based off of my own goals. So I'm going to refer you to the buyer certification and the collector's training. These two trainings are so valuable. It's a series of short videos. The buyer certification teaches the 5 top reasons why people buy gold and silver. It educates us about the economy, the inflation, and also teaches us the reasons, what metals to buy based off of your own goals. And so that's really important, that we know what metals to buy based off of our own goals. And then the collector's training, it teaches us difference between proof 70s, MS 70s, gem uncirculated coins, things of that nature, bullion, things of that nature. And so I would highly recommend that you go through the buyer certification and collector's training. You might be wondering how much that costs. Some people say they'd pay $500 alone for each training. It's free with your membership. With your membership to our exclusive buying club, it is free. I'm going to share with you, here's a picture of my friend Curtis Harlan. Curtis Harlan is a gold associate here at 7K, making $7,000 on a weekly basis. We always encourage people to look at how we can make some money here, but he's super proud of the fact that he has the 50 state animal series. This is a beautiful collection. I have the same set right here on my shelf. You can see that. 50 state animal series, all of them are right there. And so it's just really cool to be able to collect these things, and people love to collect things in a series. Here's a picture taken of my collection about 3 years ago. So on the left side, you can see collectibles. Again, that's the offense. On the right side, you can see bullion. That's the defense, and a mix down the middle. Now, I share this with you because I want you to realize I didn't buy all this at one time. And I didn't have the money to buy gold and silver. When I first started out, again, I was that person that was struggling to make ends meet. But I made time for 7K and I shared it with people, and I realized, man, I'm collecting a real tangible asset. I also learned about how we make some money here, and I started making money. So I took 2/3 of what I earned and I put that into precious metals. And so now I have an incredible collection after 6.5 years. If the economy tanks, the dollar crashes, whatever happens, I don't worry about it, because gold and silver will buy whatever the currency is of the day. Gold and silver is my nest egg. And so think about that. A little bit each month, a little bit of gold and silver each month, of gold and silver bullion and collectibles, and you too can have an incredible collection. Now, we talked about 2 things here, defense and offense. But we have so much more to offer here at 7K. We have multiple benefits of being a part of 7K. And we always encourage you to get with a person that shared this with you, because they can share with you our other benefits. But we're going to keep this short. You're probably wondering how much a membership costs. We've got 2 options. We've got a premium membership, $499 annually, or a $199 annually membership. Now, everybody likes a choice. Think about that. You got Amazon, Amazon Prime. You got Sam's Club, Sam's Club Business. Well, same thing here. You got 2 choices. And, if you're a person that's interested in part-time, full-time, or life-changing income, the $499 is definitely for you. That's what I have purchased, and that's what I renew at each year. I really call it a business in a box. And you can see all the things listed here. You can see all the benefits. And again, we didn't even go into the benefits as much, but we talked about the benefits of gold and silver. So folks, I'm going to share a couple things with you about the money-making part. Okay. I shared with you about the benefits, but I'm going to share about the money-making part. I told you that I started making money early on in 7K. Well, I actually made my first commission 2 weeks after I started, but I learned something super valuable in week number 1. See, I joined 7K. I reached out to a couple of people. One of them was my son, Chris. He joined 7K after I did. He earned his first commission in week number 1. So that taught me something very valuable. Actually, 2 things. The system works to make money, and it's not just the people at the top making all the money. And that was significant, because I had heard in networking that usually it's the people at the top that are making all the money. And so that was significant to me. And so, I just said, I'm going to fit this in. And you remember how busy I was, 2 businesses during the day, flying helicopters at night, but I decided to make time for 7K. And so I fit it in. And 6 months into 7K, my wife and I saw we had a real residual income. So we sold our lawn care business, sold our detailing business. It freed up a lot of time for us. And I don't know about you, but my time is what's most valuable. And I imagine yours is as well. But my time is what's most valuable. And so when I was able to sell those 2 businesses, it was significant. It was a blessing in our lives. One more thing about the money-making part. So I did 25 years active duty. I retired. And there's no way you can live on a military retirement. It's just not possible. Okay. And so that's why I'm still working. Think about that. But here's the thing. When I did retire, I have an annual pension. So I make a certain amount of money every year, no matter what. Okay. That's residual income. Think about that. Well, here, working my 7K business in my second year of operation, I made the same amount of money that I make in my annual pension. Do the math, 25 years of working residual income or 1 to 2 years working your 7K business. Now, some people do it a whole lot faster than I do, but residual income. The difference is with my residual incomes, this one with 7K continues to go up because I continue to share it with people. I share it with people because I know that I have something that is truly valuable. So folks, we always encourage you to get with the person that invited you to this. I'm going to turn this over to my friend, Mr. Tony Hubbard. Now, Tony comes from a background of networking. Me, I come from a background of aviation. And Tony's been in the industry for 19 years. He's been a six-figure earner both in and out of network marketing. Man, this guy is an incredible teacher, leader, and one of my very best friends. Mr. Tony Hubbard, share with these people how we make some money.
All right, Chris. As always, man, it's such a pleasure to be on the platform with such a professional like yourself. It's been an amazing journey over the last 6.5 years to see the growth and the success that you've had and the thousands of lives that you impact for the better. And I have no doubt, because you are that ultimate team player, that over the next couple of years, when they read off the list of individuals in this company that are earning that significant life-changing income, I have no doubt Mr. Chris Ladd's name will be on that list. So definitely hats off to you, my friend. And I look forward to your future success. And ladies and gentlemen, Chris did an excellent job, as always, sharing with you guys some of the many reasons why people love what we do. He talked about some of the problems that are happening out society. I mean, problem number one, your dollar does not do what it used to do. That's a fact. The second problem is that about half of Americans, and not just Americans, because we have people on here today from the UK. I mean, there are a lot of UK people that cannot cover a $400 emergency in their life. So what we're going to do over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you guys how a compensation plan has changed tens of thousands of lives for the better. For some, it's provided financial relief, and for others, it has provided financial freedom. But I think it's fair that before you get information concerning a business, to know a little background of the person who's sharing. You see, I was very fortunate. I was blessed to take a look at this company 6.5 years ago when they first started. But it was a very critical point in my life. I needed something that would work for me. So do me a favor. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right audience. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever been at a point in your life that you needed something that would work for you. Because I tried traditional business, I tried networking business. I needed something that would work for me. And I took a look at this business model that we're going to talk about today, and I got involved. The very same night I took a look at it, not because I understood everything, but because what they shared with me just made a whole bunch of sense. See, I got involved because I understood 2 things. Number one, it made sense to me to purchase gold and silver at the best price. That made sense to me. But it also made sense that if someone's going to get paid whenever somebody else bought gold and silver, that somebody else need to be me. And that's all I really grasped 6.5 years ago. I went on to introduce now over 400 people to this concept. And I have a team now that is tens of thousands of individuals around the world. Now, I don't share that today to impress you, but to impress upon you that if someone like myself that does not have a college degree can do this business and earn several thousand on a weekly basis, every last one of you guys here today will have that exact same opportunity. So over the next 10 to 15 minutes, let me share with you guys how this compensation plan has provided financial relief and financial freedom for tens of thousands of lives around the world. So let me share my screen and let's just dive right into it. Let's talk about how do we get paid with this company. Now, we have a very simple compensation plan. It's a simple concept. You share the opportunity, you will earn points for sharing, and those points will allow you to get paid. Now, our compensation plan is known in the industry as a dual team system, which means everyone's responsible for building and placing your people on just 2 teams. Why is that important? Well, if you study the industry of home-based business and network marketing over the last 80 plus years, history has revealed to us, I don't care what the name of the company, what product you market or the service, the average person in their lifetime within any networking company will only sponsor 2.3 individuals. That's why the dual team system is so popular, because all a person has to do to be in a position to start getting paid is to find two people that this makes sense with. You're now in a position to start getting paid. Now, they don't pay your commission when you sign people up. They give you points for that. And those points can turn into your monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly commission. And here's how it works. Once you bring on your first two individuals and start accumulating those points, any combination of 500 points on team one, that can be your efforts or the team efforts, and 500 on team two, you just earn a $500 commission. And ladies and gentlemen, that's unheard of in this space. You see, in my 19 years of network marketing, I've been a part of other dual team systems before. And for the same amount of work, there are companies that will insult you and just pay you $10 for that, $25, maybe $50. But in this equation, that commission is a $500 commission. So do me a favor. What if you brought in two people and they brought on a couple of people and you bought a few coins, and the following week, a $500 commission showed up? Do me a favor, put a 2 in the chat, that if in your mind, that's going to be a real check. And you know what? It gets better from there. What if I continue to share? I will earn even more points. And you know what? It allows you to get paid even more. And it's second equation, because you've reached another rank in the compensation plan. And this is considered a 50-50 binary, which means at the end of every week, Saturday, midnight Mountain Time, you would get paid based upon the rank you achieved and the points of your lesser team. In this second equation, you've just earned a $1,000 commission. So let me do my best to show you guys, how do we get those points that will turn into your monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly commission? There are 5 different ways that you can earn points that will turn into your commission. The first of which is retail sales. A part of your package, ladies and gentlemen, you get your own e-commerce site. So if someone wants to test the water to see if they really deliver the goods, you can send your individual link to them. They can buy everything you buy with a slight retail markup. And when they check out, whatever the markup is, the company will split that with you. But if they buy anything on your site that has points, those points go toward your commission. Also, Chris talked about putting your wealth on autopilot. We have what we call an auto saver program, not an auto ship, because you're getting assets every month. And every one of those coins come with 15 to 20 points. In addition to that, several times a month, and look like now almost every week, the company will give you access to very rare coin sales. That means only a few thousand of those coins exist on the planet. And if you're fast enough, you'll get a chance to get one. Only a few hundred of them sometimes exist. And if you're very quick, you'll get a chance to get one of those. They all come with points. Also, your own website. Imagine having a Sam's Club or a Costco membership, but when you go to your website, all you see is silver and gold coins and bars, as well as jewelry. And if you buy any retail product, those points go toward your commission. And last but not least, those membership that Chris talked about for $199 or $499, they both come with 50 to 150 points. And one of the things I love about this company, because they want to make sure you continue to make money. When those people renew the next year, you'll get that 50 and 150 points again. And I've seen over the last 6.5 years, I've seen years where as much as 70% of the people renew because they see value in that membership. So what is my income potential in this thing? I'm glad you asked. Once you bring on your first two, you can earn up to $500 a week. But if you continue to build, right now, the maximum you can make is $12,500, not a month, not bi-weekly, but every single week. So here's the thing I love about this compensation plan from the very beginning. It's the simplicity behind it. You see, I've been in this industry for 19 years, and I've seen hundreds of different compensation plans. And some of them, friends of mine have been a part of companies that, unless you had a PhD in physics, you probably couldn't grasp the concept. I've seen compensation plan that was so diverse and so many moving parts, that unless you had a master's in mathematics, you probably wouldn't be able to grab the concept. But I love the fact that this compensation plan, because keep in mind, this company was designed to help everyday people to make part-time, full-time, and even life-changing income, and to simplify the process. So our compensation plan, our PDF is not 12 pages. It's not 5 pages. In one single page, you can see the simplicity and the brilliance behind our compensation plan. Because here's how it works. Once you bring on your first two people, you're going to place one left and one right. The computer promotes you to an associate. I don't care if that happens in a week, a month, a year, a day. Whenever that happens, you can earn up to $500 a week based upon the production of your team. What if you need to make more than that? Simple. Duplicate your success. Teach a person on the left and on the right how to do what you just did, and then add a couple of signups yourself. Now, as a copper, you can earn up to $1,000 on a weekly basis. Our team is responsible for helping thousands of individuals get that done within 24 to 72 hours. And right now, there's a contest on the table. If you come on board and you hit copper in your first 10 days, they're going to give you a 1 ounce silver coin valued at about $35. What if I need to make more than that? You got it. Duplicate your success again. Our bronze are earning up to $2,000 on a weekly basis. And right now, we're encouraging you to build your business fast because we understand two concepts, that success loves speed and momentum is the thing that will make you and I the most money. Our company said right now, if you hit bronze in your first 30 days or less, and we've helped people get it done in less than a week, if you hit it in your first 30 days or less, they're going to give you an MS-70, a collectible 1 ounce silver coin, our 5-year anniversary coin. And that coin is valued at $170. So just think about it. If you build your business fast, within the first month, you'll have $200 worth of silver just to show for the fact you produced and you've earned money on top of that. But the position I really want you guys to focus on today, especially if you're a first-time guest, is the middle of our compensation plan, and that's the silver rank. Our silvers are earning up to $3,500 on a weekly basis. And you know what? I don't care where you live on the planet. $3,500 a week, $14,000 a month, puts you in the top 10% of income earners anywhere on this planet. And the company recognized the fact that here's where the real cream started rising to the top, that a few years ago, they decided to do something unheard of to incentivize you to take this business serious from day one. And they say, you know what? You come on board and you hit silver in your first 90 days or less, they're going to give you 3 months to do it. The reward is not a trophy. It's not a plaque. How about this 100 ounce silver bar that's in my hand right now that's valued at about $3,000? Over the last 6.5 years, there's been over 500 people that have reached the rank of silver. About 200 of them did it in less than 90 days. Some less than 60. And you know what? We've even helped a few get it done in less than 30 days. And because our team at Legacy Builders, we're responsible for helping over 90 people now get one of these 100 ounce silver bars. As my grandmother used to oftentimes say, if you can do a thing, you can teach a thing. I'm looking forward to helping at least 50 more people get one of these 100 ounce silver bars before the year is out. So I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to be one of the next 50 people that I help you get your own 100 ounce silver bar with this team here at Legacy Builders. All right, we got a couple takers here. We got a couple takers. All right. And if you believe in the adage that if you didn't come from a wealthy family, then it's your responsibility to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. And you want to set your sights on these last 3 positions of gold, executive, and presidential level, because at those levels, individuals are earning up to $7,000, $10,000, up to $12,500 on a weekly basis. Now, for those of you who think you got invited way too late to the party, I want you to relax. Because although we're nearly a 7-year-old company in November that has done over $100 million in revenue last year alone, with an A+ rating in the Better Business Bureau out of just 8 countries right now, we've only been blessed to earn up to $50,000 a month for the last few years. There's only about 90 people so far that have reached the rank of gold. 18 of us have become executive goals, and that's only 3 presidential goals in this entire company. So there is plenty of room at the top. But I look forward to seeing those numbers double, triple, and even quadruple, because when you look at everything 7K Millers has to offer, we are by far the best kept secret in all the network marketing space. But before we wrap it up here today, I'd like for you, from time to time, I'd like for you to hear a testimonial of some people that have come on board and are taking this thing serious from day one. This young lady here has only been on board now for a few short months. She is one of the ones that did the silver rank in less than 90 days. And I have no doubt she'll be gold before the year is out. But I want you to hear her testimonial and why she chose 7K Metals And because I know her future looks very bright, I'm talking about top producing silver associate, Kiara Ruiz. Take it away, young lady.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tony. Good morning, everyone. As Tony said, I've been with the company for a very short time. When I heard about this, it was just the right time. I am a 23-year-old. I've been in the financial sector for 23 years. I'm not 23. I wish I was 23 still, but I've been in the financial sector for 23 years, and so I'm very aware of what is going on with our government. And I've always wanted to purchase gold and silver. But I just thought that, I know the system where, if you go through a broker, you have to have minimums $5,000 and $10,000 to be able to even start. And so I really just thought that this was something that I would not be able to do. But the moment that I heard that 7K offered the opportunity for you to be able to use the Sound Money wallet and to be able to stack fractionally, I didn't give it a second thought. I was, ready to jump on board right away. So, I'm really a big proponent about financial literacy and financial awareness and financial empowerment. And so as soon as I heard about this, I saw the compensation plan, but I really was more wanting to just share this information with as many people as soon as possible. And because I did that, I was able to rank pretty quickly in that first week. Had a nice commission check, as Tony mentioned. I have achieved that silver rank and aspiring and on the way to gold. And there's so many other opportunities that have been afforded to me through the company, spending time with the founders and with the CEO of the company to really understand the heartbeat of the company. And so this has just been a great time, something that everyone needs to know. The writing is on the wall, but a lot of people are not reading it. So it's up to us to take the information and to share the information with individuals. Gold and silver is something that we all need to be purchasing to protect our financials. And who better to tell but you? There are individuals that will understand. They'll be ready to jump on board and be eager, just as eager as you. And there's some individuals that may say no, or they may come back later on. But the main point is that we are sharing the message. And so I jumped on board right away. I started sharing right away. I'm still sharing. There are a lot of meetings that are coming up, which we call Super Saturdays. I live in Chicago. I'll be headed to New Jersey next week to meet some people that are some of my leaders on my team and to continue to spread the message. So if you understand anything from today's conversation, you definitely want to secure your position. You definitely want to, at minimum, start stacking gold and silver. If you're a customer, that's great. 85% of the company customers, but do spread the word, because this is something we need to do to protect ourselves against what is currently happening in the banking system. So thank you, Tony, for allowing me to share. And I'm going to say welcome to everyone in advance. Welcome aboard. And if you have questions, feel free to, ask your questions, get your questions answered, because you don't want to leave this opportunity on the table. Thank you.
Appreciate you, the incredible Kiara Ruiz. The young lady is definitely going places in our company, and I have no doubt she'll be gold before the year is out and just taking it to higher heights and deeper depths. And ladies and gentlemen, just to wrap everything up today, right now the ball is in your court. I want you to imagine, for just $199 a year, you have your own miniature franchise. You have tax benefits because it's considered a home-based business. That alone makes it worth the price. In addition to that, you're collecting assets part-time and full-time. You can earn that income. I want you to imagine, for a premium membership for just $499 a year, you have that business in a box. And you have the potential to earn full-time as well as life-changing income. Imagine what your stack will look like 2 years from now. Imagine what your stack will look like 5 years from now of something that you can pass on to future generations. So right now, the ball is in your court, and all you have to do is just make a decision. And I think Dr. Benjamin Mays said it best. He said, I only have a minute, and that's only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me. I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, nor did I choose it. But you know what? It is up to me to use it. I'm going to suffer if I abuse it, give an account if I lose it. It's just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Just make a decision. It's okay. Here's what I know to be true. No decision has always been a decision, because every time I share this information, without fail, individuals, as far as coming on board and making that intelligent choice, they always fall into 1 to 3 categories. And yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you're on it today. Person number one, say, you know what? I like what I hear. I'm really not into that networking thing y'all been talking about, but I understand what's going on with the banks. And I know I need to be putting my hard-earned cash into something that's tangible asset that I can pass on. I say, great. Get back with the person invited to the Zoom. Let them know you're number one. You have $199 and you're ready to start stacking gold and silver on your own free website starting today. Person number two, you're like thousands of our associates that say, you know what? I think it's cool to buy gold and silver. I think it's a beautiful thing to get collectible coins. But with real inflation being closer to 10%, I've never gotten a 10% raise on my job. So that lets me know I'm falling behind every month. So my household could use an extra $1,000 a month. You have no idea what kind of financial relief it would be if an extra $2,000 showed up every month. I say, great, get back with the person invited you to the Zoom. Let them know you're number two. You got $199, or better yet, you got $499, and you're ready to start stacking and making money. But if you're like I was guy number three. When I found out I could make up to $50,000 a month with a product that just made sense, this became a no-brainer to me. You see, being a student of the industry, here is what I knew to be true. There are thousands of companies out there in the network marketing space. And you know what? They all make money, but they don't all necessarily make sense. And here's what I mean by that. You see, it never made sense to me to pay 5 to 10 times the price for a product or a service that I could go to Walmart, I could go to Sam's Club, get the same item with the same ingredients for a fraction of the cost. That just never made sense to me. But you know what has always made sense over the last 6.5 years? Having 100-ounce silver bars showing up in your mailbox. What about 1-ounce collectible gold coins worth about $2,800? Or better yet, what about getting access to coins that's so rare? There's only 1,177 of these coins in the world. This is the USS Arizona, the Pearl Harbor coin, 5-ounce coin that was designed by Miles Standard. It's like an exact replica of the ship. Now, this coin I paid $900 for, and I saw it sold the other day for $6,000 less than 2 years later. To be able to get assets like this and to be able to make up to $50,000 a month, that made sense to me. So do me a favor today. If you're a guest on here today, put a 2 in the chat if the information you've heard so far just makes sense. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and let's just have a candid conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Because here's what I know to be true. I don't expect you to grasp everything we just covered over the last 35, 40 minutes. I don't. But you've made far more expensive decisions. You made far more intelligent decisions. You've made far more critical decisions with a lot less information. And let me just share that with you. Do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat if you've ever worked a 9 to 5, and before they turn you loose, you had to go through some type of orientation. Put a 3 in the chat. I don't care if it was McDonald's. They didn't just give you a uniform and say, sick them. They had to take you through some type of orientation. Okay? All right. Put a 4 in the chat if you did not understand everything there was to know about that job after them first couple of hours, after those first couple of days, or sometimes even after a couple of months, you really didn't get it. But here's what I know to be true about you. You at least hung around long enough to get a check. And that's all we're asking you to do today. Hang around long enough, and we're going to show you how to get a check. Hang around long enough. Myself and Mr. Chris Ladden, we're going to be teaching today how you can make full-time income on a part-time basis, because that's what Chris has been able to do over the last 6.5 years. I'm going to show you how to make a 6-figure income in this business. We're going to show you how to do that, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to make part-time, full-time, or even life-changing income, we're going to show you how to do that. That's what the training is all about. So we're going to break for a few minutes. We're going to open up for now for Q&A, and then we're going to break for a few minutes, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do an hour worth of training on how to go from zero to hero in a very short period of time. So that being said, if you're a guest on here today, you got questions about what we just covered, here's the time you want to raise your hand. We will allow you to unmute. We believe in being very, very transparent, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. So the floor is open, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Chris, I don't see no hands, man.
Mm. That means come on board.
Well, here's what I tell you to do: to get back with the person who invited you. Let them know, hey, I'm ready. I'm a number one. I just want to be a customer. I'm a number two. I want to be a customer and make some money. Or I'm a number three. I'm a customer and I want to make a whole lot of money. So let them person know. Now, you heard Kiara talk about the event that's coming up next weekend on the 19th of the month. That's going to be in a regional event that's going to take place in Newark, New Jersey. We got one of the best promoters the company's ever seen, and my man, Mr. Yuri Melendez, Gold Associate, on his way to executive and presidential. And so I'm gonna open up the floor to him right. I'm gonna open the floor to him right now so he can talk about that event. And because I know I plan on having at least 5 guests myself at that event. So again, the floor is open. My man, Mr. Yuri Melendez, take it away, sir.
Hey man, good morning. Good morning. Always, man. I'm ready to sign up again. Chris, awesome job. And Tony, you break it down for a third grader to understand how we get paid doing this thing, brother, man. And I appreciate everybody, man. Good morning, everyone. He's absolutely right. We having an event coming in August 19th. That's this coming Saturday, Tony. I'm excited. I put it in the chat and I'll pull up the flyer as well. August 19th. Let me see if I could, let me just share it real quick. All right, multiple share, could share. Hold on, Tony, let me know if you see my screen, my friend. Okay, that's weird. All right, there we go. Can you see it? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, so listen, Tony, I want to share this about Tony too, guys, for those who know. When I started this company almost 3 years ago, Tony, that was the first person I wanted to meet, sought after. I remember going to Salt Lake City to say, I want to meet the OGs. I want to meet the meeting, not OGs, the guys who were in it, who started, who paved the way. Chris Latin came in, right? Tony came in literally, right? 2 months right before you started, right? I wanted to because thank you for paving the way to making it a whole lot easier for the people who are coming and getting started now, Who knew? But I wanted to shake your hand. So kudos to you, brother, for always doing that and being a humble servant and paving the way to make it easier for all the members who are coming in now. Who knew 3 years later I'm hosting these events, right? That's how God works, right? So this coming Saturday, guys, we have Blake Davis, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer. You guys had an event a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta. You know how they bring it. Benny Coffey, he's new to the company, Director of Field Development. He's going to do some coaching sessions, guys. And then you always talk about, Tony, if you could do a thing, you could teach a thing, right? So if you look on the board, right, you have goals, executive goals, and presidential goals. So here's the question. Do you think if this is where you want to go, if you are an associate and you want to learn how to get to copper, we have a lot of coppers. If you're a copper, you're a bronze, and you want to learn how to get to bronze, why not talk to those who already did it, right? My job was when I met Tony, this is where he went. I want to know what he did, how he didn't get the nuggets. So we have Portia all the way, right? We got Portia all the way from New York. We have Mark and Danielle. You guys already know Mark and Danielle. They bring it, very simple, all the way from Maine. Our buddy Madiba Thompson, Madiba Thompson, all the way coming from Oregon. Your buddy out there, Mr. Ron Austin, we always tell him, right? Either you're going to love him or hate him, tough coach, but he's going to tell it how it is. He's coming down as well. And then we have Andy, Tone, in your organization, right? Fallen organization, presidential goal. You said there's only 3 in the world. Everybody does it different. Presidential goal. So we have every rank in the company who's already reached it. Why is it so important to be around these type of folks? Because they already accomplished what we all trying to get at, guys. So you're going to be able to get the nuggets. It's August 19th. We're actually even doing, Tony, I'll put it in there, that Friday at my school, which you had an opportunity to come down to the school twice. We're going to break it down for coaching sessions on Friday from 10 to 3 from Benny Coffey and Blake at the school. And then we register Friday evening for the meet and greet. The event is Saturday, guys, but do whatever you can. If you go to get tickets, is lunch included? $45, Tone. What does that mean? $45 including lunch. You can't beat that, brother. You can't beat that. If you scroll down over here, you see there's still tickets. You can book your hotel here. guys, the whole ultimate goal is getting there, because events changes lives. Events will give you that ins and outs. Tony also mentioned about orientation. When you get into a new job, you don't know everything. Why not go like to the 7K orientation and get all the hands? And I mean, we're going to do like a workshop style. We're going to split it in groups, how to build your business, how to launch your business. It's just not talking, guys. It's giving you the tools to build your business and go back to your city. So I'm so excited. Thank you for giving me the time before the training, Tone. A wise and so important. But could you add to it? Because I know you got the following week, you have Sally. You guys are going to be on the West Coast, right? So I'm in the East Coast this week, this coming weekend, and then you guys have an event that Sally Mary's hosting in the West Coast, guys. Other than that, Tony, there's no other events, right? Corporate event is April 28th through May 2nd in Las Vegas. So if you're not going to a Super Saturday to get charged up and get the tools, how would you make it to Vegas next year, you know, with your teams? But I think you're muted, Tony. Unmute yourself, but there you go.
All right, man. Absolutely. You're that again. I'm expecting standing room only there in Newark, New Jersey, because one of the things I know about Yuri over the last 3 years, if that anybody knows how to put on an event, Mr. Yuri Melendez knows how to put on an event, man. So it's definitely going to be an amazing event. I plan on having quite a few guests out there and leaders. If you got any people that you know that's in New Jersey, and I promise you, if you got at least 5 to 10 people on your team, if you use the 4 most powerful words for recruiting and network marketing to be able to get people in other cities and other states, is just who do you know? If you ask people on your team, who do you know that's in New Jersey? I promise you, if you don't know anybody in New Jersey, there's people on your team that know somebody there. And that's the way for you to get people out so they can be trained from some of the best in 7K. So definitely hats off to you. I know it's going to be an amazing event. And I'm going to bring on now Miss Sally Mary from Washington State. And in 2 weeks from today, myself, Gold Associate, Mr. Scott Zuckman, we're going to be flying in there to Seattle, Washington to do that Super Saturday. So Sally Mary, I'm going to give it over to you to let everybody know about that event. We want another standing room only. Take it away, young lady.
West Coast. Come on, Sally. I'm in the East. You're on the West. Let's go.
What's up? Hey, guys. Listen, I'm going to be fully transparent right now. If you see tears roll down my eyes, it's not because the situation is making me teary. Well, maybe it is. I have a really horrible migraine at the moment, and but that's why this business is important, right? That's why this business is important, because of I feel like for people that are able to fully be present all the time, but for someone like myself, I'm an Army veteran who has certain limitations. And one of my limitations, exposure to chemical, has given me the gift of migraines. And it's the most funnest thing to have. No, it's not. So with that said, it's really important to go to these events, because these events really do fuel you, especially on days when you're unable to be fully present. Like for me, having to come from the convention, and then with Daryl leading the momentum all the way to Atlanta, and then now you're carrying it over to New Jersey, and then me over in Seattle. It's the very first one in the Pacific Northwest, for as much as as in the tri-state. We don't include Idaho. No, I'm just kidding. I know that Hawaii is doing theirs sometime in September. I just learned about the fires in Hawaii, so I'm sure that I don't really know which area of Hawaii was affected, but I'm sure that the show will still go on. And also I am so excited. Okay, so there's 3 amazing things going on. One, a business partner of mine, she's a real estate agent. She opened it for everyone, whether it's someone that falls within my lineage or someone that falls within your lineage. We're offering a vacation to over 3,500 locations around the world to 4 to 5 stars when they show up. So I tell people, hey, come in for the education, stay for the vacation, but must stay till the end. That's extended to you guys as people that you send out. We'll gather their information only enough to send them the email, and then we turn them loose back to whoever sent them. And that's one. Two, my goodie bag is coming along very nicely, so everybody gets a goodie bag. And then three, I was so excited telling everybody, I forgot to respond to him. Blake messaged me and said he is going to be there. Okay, he messaged me and said he's going to be there. I was very honored. And then I was on a 45-minute phone call for Benny Kofi. Guys, this company, I am just so happy to be part of an organization that truly do believe in what family is, right? So family is the people that you incorporate around you who supports you and shows you love versus your relatives. They're just your blood, right? So there is really a difference. And I'm just really happy to be surrounded by people who support you in your success, right? It's a true teamwork. It's a true family network. And if you don't know it yet, you'll soon discover. So get plugged in with the right individuals. And this event is that important. It's that important that, you know, whatever plans Blake had, he dropped it to be in Seattle. So as much as East Side in the house, so is West Side. So please, I want to reiterate what Yuri said last week about the importance of registering, right? We all have like our own little duties that it's not really little, it's a huge responsibility. Please.
Sally Mary, put the screen up, put your flyer.
So because I didn't have the opportunity to update it yet, please forgive me, but this is our old flyer. I did just learn that Chris will not make it to it. So, but
you got Blake coming. So
Blake is coming. Thank you. Symptoms are kicking in. Yes. And then also here's a flyer for the local people. I'm sorry. This is for everybody. And there's our information in the bottom that talks about the vacation. And this is what I give out to the people in my neighborhood. We also have we have the Claim Jumpers Banquet Steakhouse Bar Greenhouse Banquet. We have the banquet room. You know, if you guys ever, you know what, let me take pause here for a second. I was thinking about this. If you have a Claim Jumpers locally, right? Not that I'm supporting their business, but if you want to do your own wealth strategy presentation, dude, it's free. Just as long as people order their dinner, you can do your own wealth strategy, book the room. It fits 30 to 50 people, depending on the location, right? Think about that for a second. Get creative. If you really want to be successful in your business, get creative. If you can't get creative on your own, you have a panel of people in this right here, right now, and ask them for some help. And you know what? I love how Yuri called Tony OG. Me and Amy got this thing going on. OG is in the original Godfather. So that guy is always ready. You know, he's always ready, always at the ready to give help. So anyways, with that said, I'm going to shut my mouth and because I can't stand the sound of my own voice right now. So catch you guys later. Love you all.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm showing 4 minutes after. So let's take a 6-minute break. So 10 minutes after, that way you can refresh yourself and then reach out to your team members. Let's push this thing closer to 100. And we're going to go into some training. So you got 6 minutes to go ahead and send out text and say, hey, listen, once you get on the training, you're going to hear from Silver Associate, Mr. Chris Ladden, Executive Goal, Mr. Tony Hubbard. We're going to show you guys how to build a business, part-time, full-time, and even life-changing income. So you got 6 minutes to do that. Let's go ahead and refresh yourself. And in 6 minutes, you're going to hear from top producing Silver Associate, Mr. Chris Ladden, on how to build this business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and fill it up and reach out to your team members. God bless.
All right. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, we're going to get started with the training. I think most of you know that I fly helicopters for a living. That's what I do. That is my area of expertise. I've been flying for 33 years. And I got to tell you, something that I do as an instructor is I teach people to do the basics. I teach people to do the basics over and over and over. And we go through emergency procedures over and over and over. And why do we do that? Because it should be ingrained. It should be ingrained in what they do and what they think. And really the reason that is when things happen, when things get hard, then people tend to forget. And the thing is, when, let's say, bullets are flying or something like that, well, people tend to forget the things that they're focused on. And, right now we have a field of view of about maybe 170, 180 degrees, depending on how well you see peripherally. And, but what happens when things happen, or when bullets are flying, or anything that comes up, our focus goes like this. It goes and it becomes very narrow. And so we teach things over and over and over. And because when we learn the basics, it just tends to help a person be better. It helps them to be able to react and just do the things they need to do. I kind of liken this to, as a kid, I did martial arts as a teenager and in my 20s and early 30s. And it was just repetition over and over. It becomes muscle memory. Well, the thing is, doing your business here at 7K, it should be muscle memory. When you get to the point where you just say, man, I don't really know what I'm doing here, or I'm not sure what I need to do next, you should be doing the muscle memory things. And so what we're going to do is cover the basics. And I think that's important. And I always think it's important to stay plugged in. But it's important that we understand the compensation plan. So right now you should be able to see me, hear me, and see my slide that says comp plan. If that is true, if you can see me, hear me, and see my slide that says comp plan, drop a 1 in the chat for me. Let me know. All right, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. And so let's talk basics. Let's talk comp plan. I think it's important that we understand the compensation plan so that when we're asked questions, we can either answer those questions. And always a really good thing to do is to say, yeah, well, I can answer that question for you, but I've got someone I'd like you to meet, and you get them on the phone with a person. Now, you might be that person that's on the phone. You might be that person that's doing that 3-way call and helping one of your team members, one of your business colleagues. Well, you want to be able to understand the compensation plan well. And so we have a very simple program here. It's called the Share, Earn Points, Get Paid program. And it's really that simple. I'm not going to say it's easy. And really anything worth doing is not easy. It's usually hard. The people that I train in flight school, they will tell you flight school is difficult, and because there's so much studying involved, there's so much learning that takes place. And it's the same thing here. You want to be good at this? Study, learn, do. Well, that's the thing. Learn the Share, Earn Points, Get Paid program. And so let's talk. How do we actually earn points? Now, there's multiple ways that we earn points. We've got retail sales, which is a very small portion of how we earn points. But retail sales is a person that comes to your website and says, I want to buy precious metals, but I don't want to join your club. Now, most people are not in that category, but I do have some team members that have had that happen, where a person goes to their website and they make a purchase. And it's going to show them, it's going to show the person that's buying, it's going to show them that they could have saved money by being a member. And so usually people will just join, but you can actually earn points on retail sales, and that's through your replicated website. Monthly autosaver program. There are currently 4 options that we have for the monthly autosaver. Most people get 1. Some people get 2. Now I personally get all 4 every single month. A couple reasons. 1, I really like them. And 2, historically, these things have always gone up in value. When I say these things, I'm talking the MS70s, the Proof 70s, the 70 notes. All of those things historically have always gone up in value. So it makes sense for me to trade my fiat currency for the autosaver. And it's just something you can do. You can set it and forget it. I kind of tell this when I'm doing a presentation that, when I first started flying 33 years ago, we didn't have autopilot in the Black Hawk. And so now we have a fully integrated couple system that makes it so we have autopilot. All I got to do is program it, and it will do what I want it to do. And that makes it so I can focus more on training my students, focus on the battlefield. And it's the same thing here. Get on the autosaver program, and you too can set it, forget it, and put your savings on autopilot. But we earn points. We earn points with the autosaver program, 15 or 20 points. 3 of them earn 15 points, and 1 of them currently earns 20 points. So think about that. When we're earning points to earn commissions, realize my own autosaver also counts towards my own points. And so when you buy autosavers, you're earning points towards your commissions. So again, it's just like the rewards program. And then coin drops, rare coin sales. This is the way that you can earn additional points anywhere in your organization. And that's the beauty of our earn points. Anywhere in your 2-team system, anyone in your organization that does retail sales or monthly autosaver, you are earning points. Everyone in that line is earning points. And the same for coin drops. And I always promote a coin drop. I let people know, hey, there's a really cool coin. And we got coins that are coming up in 5 days. It's already out on 7ktoday.com. If you're not familiar with 7ktoday.com, get there. And it tells you about the next coin drop. It tells you about the next things that are coming up. And then other purchases such as 7K Select. We have jewelry, things of that nature, but 7K Select, also some of those items come with points. And then the big ones are memberships and renewals. So we have memberships. The $199 generates 50 points, and the $499 generates 150 points. And also their annual renewal generates the same amount of points. So obviously you can see that this is how we earn points to get commissions. And then something else that a lot of times we don't talk about, but we also have 7K Health. 7K Health, when you have people in your organization that have subscribed to the 7K Health and they have a policy, you're also going to earn some points. I don't know the value on that. I think it's anywhere from like 1 to 28. I don't know for sure the value on those points, but it varies based off of the policy. There's individual policies, there's group policies, there's business policies, there's all kinds of things there. So 7K Health as well. So now we determine how we earn the points. So these are the multiple ways that you earn points in your organization. A lot of times people say, well, where's the residual income come from? Here it is. If you can learn these places that points come in, you can continue to maximize your program. So let's talk about the one-page compensation plan. I think most people are familiar with this. This is a beautiful diagram on how we actually make some money. So we have to earn the points, and we already talked about that. The points come in on each team. You have a left team and a right team. And when you earn the points, when you're a specific rank, and we'll talk about the ranks in a moment, but when you earn the points, you earn the dollars, and the dollars are your commissions. We cycle every Saturday. That means we get paid weekly. And so when you earn 500 points on the left team, 500 points on the right team as an associate, you earn a $500 commission. Again, as an associate, this is the line we're talking about. You can see as an associate, with 500 points on the left team, 500 points on the right team, you earn a $500 commission. Well, let's talk about what does it take to become an associate. So when you first join 7K, you're a member or a customer. And realize 85% of the people that are in 7K are customers or members. There's 15% of us that share it. And when you share it with someone, you can earn part-time, full-time, or life-changing income. It just depends on what your goals are. Now, a lot of times people, they might approach this like a lottery. Don't treat it like a lottery. Treat it like a business. If you treat it like a hobby or a lottery, you're probably not going to make much. But if you treat it like a business, you will make money. Now, in order to become an associate, it takes 2 personal enrollments, 1 personal enrollment on the left team, 1 personal enrollment on the right team. And now you are eligible to earn that $500 commission on a weekly basis. Here's what it looks like. And again, I'm a pictures person. I do this quite often with my students. If I'm trying to illustrate something, I will draw it out, or I'll pull a picture that's already been established. And this is what an associate looks like. And really, when you look at all of the associates, we're talking the 15% of the people that are in there, the numbers of associates that we have, it's like around 80, 85, 86% of this 15% are associates. So realize it is doable. And now the numbers go up, or actually, as we increase rank, the percentages go down, but realize if you want to become an associate, it is definitely achievable. It is definitely achievable when one personal enrollment left team, one personal enrollment right team. Think about it this way. Even if you just want to get your product for free, think about it that way. If you want to get your product for free, become an associate. And when you share this with someone, think about it like if you're going to a restaurant and you have a good meal and you tell somebody about that. The restaurant doesn't pay you if that person goes to their restaurant. But here, if you refer 7K to our exclusive buying club, you're going to be able to put a person on each team, and eventually you will make a commission. Now, you don't make a commission with one person on each team, because again, the points have to equal 500 points on each team to be able to make a $500 commission. Let's talk about the next rank. What does it take to become a copper? It takes 2 personal enrollments on your left team and also 1 associate on each team. Again, I'm a pictures kind of person. This is what the copper associate looks like. Copper associate is the building block of our organization. So think about this. If you want to build a business here at 7K, make coppers. And this is what I mean. Help people to achieve the same rank that you make. And this is how we make copper. All right. Now think about this. All we're doing is helping people achieve the same rank as us. And then we add a couple more people to the organization. So again, we had 2 people to make associate, or 1 person each team. And in order to make copper, it takes 2 personal enrollments on each team. One of them has to be an associate. That's how you become a copper. So again, see the pattern here. So what does it take to become a bronze associate? It takes 3 personal enrollments on each team. So picture that, 3 personal enrollments on each team. And one of them needs to be a copper on each team. This is what it looks like pictorially. All right, bronze associate, it takes 3 personal enrollments, left team, right team, copper associate on each team. Think about that and just do the numbers. If you just look at this as a bronze associate, you look at, let's say a person comes in 150 points. Well, you're earning points on each team. When a person becomes a $499, when they get a $499 membership, you earn 150 points. When they get a $199 membership, you earn 50 points. When they get their autosaver, you earn 15 or 20 points. So you can see how the volume continues to grow. And obviously it's going to be a lot harder at the beginning. And what isn't harder at the beginning when you're doing something? Think about this. People go to college for 4 years, and college could be hard, but they hope to get a job afterwards. So realize you're doing your college when you're bringing people into 7K, you're learning how to do the business. But the cool thing is you can actually earn some commissions while you're learning. So earn while you learn. So bronze associate, it takes 2 coppers on each team. So let's talk about what it takes to make a silver associate. So here it takes 5 personal enrollments and 2 bronze associates, 1 on each team. So 5 personal enrollments on each team, 1 bronze associate. This is what it looks like. Silver associate, 5 personal enrollments, bronze on each team. And again, this is how the volume comes in. This is where the residual income starts to come in. This is where you say, okay, I've actually got some people that are growing a business, and you get to a point where you can't turn it off unless you quit your autosaver. So I recommend that you never, ever, ever quit your autosaver. Make sure you're always on the autopilot program for savings, and you will always earn points. And those points will not go away. Okay, they will not go away as long as you're on that autosaver program. And so if we understand how the points work and how to actually grow a business, it's significant. So what does it take to become a gold associate? It takes 8 personal enrollments and a silver associate on each team. Here's what it looks like. So if you need to do screenshots on this, do it, because this should be your goal, making gold associate. We've got several gold associates in the company, 8 personal enrollments on each team with a silver on each team makes you a gold associate. And you can make up to $7,000 on a weekly basis. Think about that, $7,000 on a weekly basis. You know, we've heard the story. If you went to the convention that we had in New Orleans, Curtis Harlan, one of the top paid individuals, he's a gold associate, makes $7,000 on a weekly basis. And that's because he has volume and organization growing on both teams. And this is where you can't shut it off, folks. I'm telling you that it's an incredible thing when you have residual income. It takes a lot of work at the beginning, but once you get to that point, you make gold associate, you can't turn it off. And so again, think about it like going to school. Think about it like, you know, when I relate it to things that I do, going to flight school. Flight school right now for these young aviators is about 2 years long here at Fort Novacell / Fort Rucker. You know, it's about 2 years long. So they take 2 years to learn how to become an aviator. And then we put them to work where they go out and do their job. And the thing is, if you just take 2 years and learn and do and share 7K, you'll have a significant income. And that's why I'm here. That's why I share this with you. I've been doing this a good while. I have a steady stream of income with 7K. It's made it so I could sell 2 businesses. I had a lawn care business and a detailing business. I was able to sell those 2 businesses because I created an additional stream of income right here at 7K. I didn't have to detail a car for 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours. I didn't have to cut grass from sun up to sundown or train somebody to do it professionally. And when you have a business like that, you're tied to it. Well, here you can work your 7K business when, where, and with who you would like. And so that's the beauty of it. It's also kind of the downfall of it, if you think about it. If you realize you don't have to put in the effort, sometimes people don't, but work it like a business. You know, if I wasn't finding customers for my lawn care business or my detailing business, then I wasn't making money. It's the same thing here. If you're not finding customers, if you're not finding people that will join our exclusive buying club, you're not going to make any money. So make it your goal to understand the comp plan and then to also go out there and share it with people. Now, what does it take to become an executive gold? It takes 10 personal enrollments on each team, but now you have to have, instead of 2 leaders, 1 leader on each team, you have to have 2 leaders on each team, bronze associate on each team and a gold associate on each team. And then also for presidential gold, 14 personal enrollments on each team. And as you can see, it takes a silver associate on each team and also an executive gold on each team. So folks, this is the compensation plan. Learn it, share it, and you too will create that additional stream of income. Folks, I got to tell you, 7K rocks. So we appreciate your time. I'm going to turn this over to my friend, Mr. Tony Hubbard. Tony always has some golden nuggets of how we build a business. He brings the strategy. He brings the experience to the table. Executive Gold Associate, take it away.
All right, Chris, man, as always, man, you did an excellent job as far as sharing exactly what you need to do and the simplicity behind the compensation plan. I mean, it's no doubt now why you've been a successful aviator for so many years, because again, you know how to take, the complex and then just reduce it to the ridiculous, and that, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you become successful. The best teachers in the world, the best teachers on the planet, they take something complex and they make it simple. And that's what Chris has mastered, that concept. And that's the reason why he's attracting leaders all across the globe to be a part of what he's doing. So definitely hats off to you, Chris. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to piggyback on that about, being successful. And you heard Chris talk about a 2-year commitment. And that's something I tell people, if they really want to be successful in this space, get an associate degree, 2-year commitment. And where I got the 2-year commitment from was one of my favorite mentors as an entrepreneur is a gentleman by the name of Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. He wrote the book, What Makes the Great Great? And in that book, he interviewed over 100 different individuals that became millionaires and billionaires in their chosen field of endeavor. And one of the gentlemen that he interviewed was a gentleman that was one of the top earners all time in Amway. The guy was named George Halsey. He made between 60 and 80 million in his 40-year career in Amway. And when he interviewed him as far as what was his success and what made the great great, and George Halsey said this. He said, if you live 2 years of your life like other people won't, you'll live the rest of your life like other people dream. Let me say that again. He said, if you live 2 years of your life like other people won't, you will live the rest of your life like other people dream. 2 years, 1 year to learn and another year to earn. You take the L off in the second year. Now, am I saying wait 2 years to make money? No, absolutely not. I mean, I've helped a lot of people. I've helped a few dozen people get up to 10 grand in their first 30 days. I've helped, hundreds of individuals make a couple of thousand in their first 30 days in this business. So, but I'm saying one of the beautiful things about this business, this model, is that you can earn while you learn. You can do it. I mean, and I always encourage entrepreneurs to know this, that by the yard, it's going to be hard. By the mile, it's going to be a trial, but inch by inch, everything can become a cinch. So I want to encourage each and every one of you that are on it today. Some of you that are signing up today, some of you have been on board for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and even for a few years. I want you to understand that you can make it in this journey. One of the reasons why I love this space of home-based business and network marketing is that history is full of millions of individuals that had success, that had less going on than you, that had less experience than you had, less education that you had, that were younger than you, that were older than you. They had a lot more challenges than what you currently face, but they made it. And so I love the fact that, to me, this is really the American dream. This is the dream of any country in the world, the 8 countries that we're currently doing business in. Because where else can you go with very little capital outlay, have your own business where you have tax benefits, and that alone makes it worth the effort? When you look at the fact, I mean, there's hundreds of stories of individuals that they were generally paying in at the end of the year. They were paying in to the government on taxes, because between them and their spouse, they were earning, 6 figures, whatever the case may be, and didn't have a lot of write-offs and stuff. And so they were paying in $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000. But then 1 year and 1 year later, instead of paying in $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000, they were getting a couple thousand back. And the only difference from 1 year to the next is because they signed up with 7K and they started having some tax benefits. And this is a 1099 tax benefit that's again just one of the fringe benefits. And when you look at that alone, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way you lose in this business. We truly have a win-win-win scenario. So what I want to talk about today, as far as getting back to the basics. One of my mentors taught me when I first got involved in this space that if you're going to be successful, you need to master the mundane and become brilliant in the basics. And I want you guys to write that down. One of my first mentors in network marketing said, if you're going to be successful, you need to master the mundane and become brilliant in the basics. The most successful people here at 7K Metals, they get good at what other folks call boring. They're doing like myself, on average, I do 10 to 20 presentations a week on average. When we're doing a blitz, that'd be 20 to 30 different presentations a week. Not only the Zoom that we're doing for the team, but I'm doing individual ones. I'm doing multiple group ones. And I've done as many as 10 different presentations in a day for different groups and stuff to build a business. So, but what I've gotten real good at is just mastering the mundane and become brilliant in the basics. And that's what you want to do. I mean, you want to get to the point that you can literally do it in your sleep because you do it so much and you created that habit. Because the great philosopher Socrates had a famous saying, and he said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellent, therefore, is not an act, it is a habit." Let me say that again. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellent, therefore, is not an act, not a one-time thing, but it's a habit, what you do all the time." And because, and one of the reasons why I love to hear Chris train on different things, because Chris eliminates a lot of excuses for people not having success in 7K Metals. A lot of times they'll say, "Okay, Tony, you're having success because this is your full-time deal." you're creating six figures because it's your full-time deal. But I didn't start out full-time when I first got involved in this space. I was working a 9 to 5 when I first got involved in this space. But I decided to work, full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune. I made that decision. It was a conscious decision. It was a deliberate decision. I decided to work full-time on my job, but to work part-time on my fortune, to work part-time on my dream. So I recognize that in order to be successful in network marketing, your success will not be determined what you do from 9 to 5. Your success will be determined what you do from 5 in the evening to 9 at night. And so I decided to give myself 20 hours a week when I was working my 9 to 5 on building my business. And a year and a half later, in my first company, I was able to walk away. Okay. Now, I'm 19 years in the space. I was 8 years in my first company. I took a 4-year hiatus because I struggled in my first company. And I went back into corporate America reluctantly. And the best thing that happened to me, and the best thing and I pray and hope for each and every one of you guys, is that I did learn some skills. And Jim Rohn put it like this. He said, skills make labor more valuable. So because I did learn some skills, keep in mind, I was an operator in a chemical plant when I first got involved in network marketing. So I didn't have any sales background at all. And so my only sales and marketing background came from my first network marketing company. And so when I got out of the industry for 4 years, after my 8 years in my first company, I went back into corporate America and I went into sales. And I went to ADT Home Security. I'd never sold an alarm before in my life. The only thing I knew about ADT Home Security alarms is that I had one in my house. That's all I knew. But because I learned some skills in network marketing, I was able to parlay that back to a 6-figure income. They told me that if you're above average, you'll make $60,000 your first year. Well, I made $80,000 my first year in that company. Okay. And then they said, if you're really above average, you should create a 6-figure income by your second year. Well, by the second year, I had found me a mentor, which is something I learned in network marketing. And I set a goal that out of 3,000 sales rep in the US and Canada, I set a goal that I was going to be the top 30, which was the top 1%, and make $125,000. Well, I ended up finishing number 1, and I made $186,000. And at the time, that was the most money I'd ever made before in my life. Well, I owe a lot of that success is because, number 1, I was hungry to get back to 6 figures before, but I did learn some skills in my first network marketing company. And those skills, I was able to parlay that to a 6-figure income. And so I kept studying the industry the 4 years I was out. And I remember sharing with my wife, I always knew I would do it again simply because residual income. 6 figures a year is nice. And I've been blessed now to earn it in and outside of network marketing. A lot nicer residual. And so when I got back in the space, it was a gold and silver company back in 2012. I immediately went to 6 figures my first year in that company. And my second year, I got up to like $50,000 a month in that company because, again, I took my business serious and I became a student of my industry. And that's what I encourage each and every one of you guys today, to be a student of your industry, be a student, master the mundane, become brilliant in the basics. So what I'm going to talk about for the next 20 minutes or so, and I talked about it on my Facebook Live that I do once a week on Fridays, and it's part of my morning motivational call that I do Monday through Friday for the last 12 years. And I talked about, how is your belief? And that's what I want each and every one of you. If you're in a position to write and take some notes, I want you to write down and ask yourself the question, how is your belief? Okay. How is your belief right now? Because as human beings, we rarely perform outside of what we believe to be true or what we believe to be possible. Now, the most successful people I've ever met in their marketing and business and in life, they start out with 2 core beliefs. Number 1, the future can be better than the present. And number 2, I have the power to make it so. Okay. Every successful person I've ever met, they start out with 2 core beliefs. Number 1, the future can be better than the present. And number 2, I have the power to make it so. But one of my mentors taught me years ago in my first network marketing company, he said, if you're going to make it, You got to constantly be working on and increasing your belief in 4 areas as far as your network marketing business. Now, my favorite book of all time, the Bible, said that all things are possible to him that believe. I want you guys to understand that. All things are possible to him that believe. And why it is so critical for you to have success in your 7K Metals business, because once you have success, people on your team believe that it's possible. It's possible that they also can get to your goals and dreams. That's why from time to time, and you're gonna see it done a lot more, we're gonna have testimonials on every presentation, because when people hear that testimony, they know that it's possible. Now, a lot of time they'll look at somebody like myself that has 19 years experience in the space. They say, okay, well, we know why he's having successful, but they see the glory now, but they don't know the story. They don't know what we went through in order to get to a 6-figure income in this space of network marketing. But I have my challenges. I still have my challenges when it comes to belief. I am constantly working on the 4 areas that we're going to talk about today. If you're going to be successful in network marketing, you have to constantly be working on your belief. And here's why you all want to have your own testimonial like Kiara shared today. Is because what happens when you have success, then everybody on your team believes that it's possible. And one of the greatest examples of what happens when one person achieves the task, as far as what happens to the people around them and people all over the world, took place in May of 1946. Because prior to May of 1946, the entire world believed that it was humanly impossible for a man to run a mile in less than 4 minutes time. Matter of fact, it was such a belief that a man could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes time, that doctors were going around telling everybody that if you ran a mile in 4 minutes time or less, your heart would explode in your chest and you would die. And so much so that the record at the time, which was like 4:02, 4 minutes and 2 seconds, the record at the time had stood for nearly 10 years. But in May of 46 of 57, it might be 57, an unknown medical student by the name of Roger Bannister, who was not even the fastest miler at the time, he did the impossible. He did the unthinkable. And he ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. And once he broke the 4-minute mile barrier, 6 months later, 8 other people did the exact same thing. What changed? The only thing that changed is that one person achieved the task, and now the entire world believed that it was humanly possible for a man to run a mile in less than 4 minutes time. And from that time until now, over 80,000 people around the world have run the mile in less than 4 minutes time. And some of them, many of them, are high school students. So I want you to understand, when you accomplish something, all of a sudden, the belief of the people around you go to a whole nother level, because now they know that it's possible. It's possible that they also can achieve their goals and dreams. That's why I was pushing so hard, ladies and gentlemen, because for those of you who may not know, when the company first started, we didn't have the current compensation plan we got right now. Matter of fact, I'd venture to say probably 80-90% of you that are on board right now probably would not have joined 7K at the very beginning. Because at the very beginning, 7K Metals, the most you could make was $1,000 a week. There was no ranks. There was no copper. There was no bronze. There was no silver. There was no gold. Everybody was an associate, because it was designed so that everyday people can make $500 to $1,000 a week. That was the max you could make. Okay. But a couple of years into 7K Metals, the founders recognized the fact that in order for them to become $1 billion plus company, they need to put, because they had thousands of people that were making $500 to $1,000 a week that had never made money before and never marketed. So they accomplished their goal. So they wanted to leave that there, but then they wanted to be able to put enough in the compensation plan so that people could make full-time and even 6-figure income. So the first enhancement to the compensation plan was gold was the highest rank. Gold, $7,000 a week. And the reason why myself and several other leaders were pushing real hard to become gold once they changed the compensation plan is that I knew what would happen for my entire team once I reached the rank of gold. And I was blessed to be the first in the field, because myself and co-founder Richard Hansen, who was the master distributor at the time, but I was the first in the field to become gold associate in the company, and that was in June of 2019. Okay. And then from that time until now, over 90 people have reached the rank of gold. 18 of us have become executive gold, and now 3 presidential golds in the company. Now watch what happens next year. You'll see those numbers double, if not triple, by next year in 7K metals, because other people now know that it's possible. Because we have some goals as young as 18 years old, and we have some executive goals that are in their 60s. Okay. So people now know that it's possible. So how do I make sure, how do I prepare myself to be in that winning mentality? What areas of belief do I need to work on if I'm going to be successful here at 7K Metal? If I'm going to be making that $2,000 a month on a consistent basis? If I'm going to be making that $5,000 a month on a consistent basis? If I'm going to be making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month on a consistent basis? The first thing I want you to write down, and these are the 4 areas of belief that I am constantly working on. My mentor told me I need to constantly work on those if I'm going to be successful and consistently be successful. And I'm going to encourage you to do the very same thing. The first level of belief that you have to constantly work on is belief in your company. I want you to write that down. Belief in your company. Okay. And how do I do that? First of all, there's policies and procedures that's in there. There's benefits that's in there. There's background about the co-founders of the company. You need to read through that, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know certain things about your company, because this is the company that you're promoting here at 7K Metals. And that's one of the reasons why I encourage you, for those of you who may not have done that. And that's why I encourage several of you guys to get the goal by the end of September, is that we're going to have our second leadership conference, and it's going to be in Idaho Falls. Last year was in Salt Lake. There was about 100 of us there. This year is going to be in Idaho Falls, Idaho, where our home office is, our world headquarters is in Idaho Falls, Idaho. And I remember, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 companies I've ever been a part of. ACN was my first company, Preservation Wealth was the second, based in Dallas, and now 7K Metals. On all of those companies, ladies and gentlemen, what encouraged me, what built on my belief to the nth degree, was when I got a chance to go to that home office and meet the founders, fill the brick, and kick the tires. So how you can encourage and build up your belief in your company? First of all, I encourage you to know about the benefits of the company. Understand the compensation plan of the company. Meet the co-founders of the company. That's why you want to go, if you ever see the co-founders at an event, or our international event that's going to take place in April, May next year, you want to go there. You want to meet these individuals. Because before I planted my flag in November the 5th, 2016, when the company started signing up people, I was blessed to be one of 246 people that was there day one. But I flew in a couple of days earlier, ladies and gentlemen, because they knew about me. I didn't know about them. They knew about me because of my success in my first gold and silver company. And so I was invited to be there, to be possibly be one of the first founding members of the company. And so the owner of my first gold and silver company, he told them about me. And so I flew up there with my first recruit, Pastor Keith Street from North Carolina. And if you watch the first testimonial video, he's the guy that comes on right before me. And I went out there because it was critical to me that I meet these guys before I decided to plant my flag, because this is a startup company. I couldn't research about their background and everything else. We signed up day one, November 5th, 2016. It was the first time individuals could start signing on the dotted line, and we were there then, okay? And so I flew up a couple of days earlier, and I was in a conference room for 4 hours with Roger Ball, Josh Anderson, Zach Davis, Richard Hansen, the first CEO of the company, which was named Sam, and the owner of my first gold and silver company, and my Pastor Keith Street, who was my first sign-up. And we were in there for 4 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I asked them questions, they asked me questions. We agreed to disagree on some things. I went back to my hotel room and I prayed about it, and I decided to plant my flag. But because I wanted my belief in the company, because I didn't know these guys from Adam, because I wanted my belief to be where it should be, so I could speak with conviction about what I believed in this company. The first year, I made 5 trips up to Idaho Falls. And I took 30 people, 30 leaders that were on my team from my first company, so they could fill the brick and kick the tires themselves. And every time I went up there, I was more convinced than the time before I had planted my flag in the right place. And so the next time that there's going to be an event at the home office, October the 5th through the 7th, that's going to be the leadership conference. So you have to be a goal to hire to get an invitation to be there, or a +1 of one of those individuals. And so, but I encourage each and every one of you guys, whether you go there for that event or any other time, you need to go by that home office so your belief can be at the highest level. Because once you go by there and you see that 30,000 square foot building, they only let you go in so far on the Sound Money wallet, but when you get a chance to go and see where the coins are being shipped out and how hundreds of thousands of coins are going out every month, you meet the staff and the co-founders, the CEO, your belief will be where it should be. So if you're going to be successful, your first thing that you got to make sure you got on point is your belief in the company of 7K Metals. All right. The second thing you need to work on to make sure, and this is a constant, this is not a one-time thing. The second thing you need to work on is your belief in the product or service that your company markets. You have to have the belief in the product or service that your company markets. And here's what I know to be true, because I've consulted with network marketing companies. If right now, a company is considered an illegal pyramid if you don't have a product or service that's good enough that people will buy it outside of the compensation plan. And we all know, with our product being physical gold and silver, coins, bars, jewelry, and everything else, there are people that will buy that outside of a compensation plan, whether they made money or not. The product is just that good, okay? But so you have to have a belief, and one of the ways you have a belief on that is that you buy it and you have it yourself. So you can show that, you be an example. I tell people, you don't need, and ladies and gentlemen, and here's what I do. You can do whatever you want to do, but I don't leave home without having some metals on my person, okay? Now I keep 3 1-ounce silver coins. These 3 1-ounce silver coins, a silver eagle, a generic round, and a Canadian maple leaf. I never leave home without these, because when the time comes, you shouldn't be telling people I'm in the gold and silver business, and when they go to your pockets, all they find is lint. Okay, I never leave home. Ladies, you can put these in your purse, whatever the case may be. I never leave home without them. When I go to the car wash, I got these 3 coins on my purse. Because here's what I know to be true. Ladies and gentlemen, 11% of the population owns physical gold and silver. 11%. So what that tells me is this: 9 out of the 10 people that you run into don't own gold and silver, and most of them have never held it in their hand. Okay. So my advice to you today is to keep these on. And I say at least 2 of those. Keep 2 of them on so they can make that noise like that, because silver clanking together makes a noise like none other. So keep at least 2 coins on there so you can have that noise like you hear in the background like that. Sometimes I purposely annoy people so they can turn around in line at the grocery store to see what I got in my hand, okay? But here's why I want you to encourage you to do this, because I had a new team that I was working with, I was developing, and I held a contest myself, and that whenever they hit certain ranks, I was going to mail them a coin out of my own stash. And so every couple of times a week, I was going to the post office, mailing out coins, and the lady got used to seeing me there. And then and they would always ask you, what are the contents in the box? And so this one lady that asked me, and she was new, I pulled out these coins and I put them in her hand. I said, is this gold and silver coins that we're mailing out? And she looked at her arm. She said, you know, I got goosebumps. She said, my grandmother used to give us these coins like this and stuff. And I got to talk to her a little bit about what it is we do. And then she gave me the coins back. And then she looked at her arms. And she said, you know what? I still got goosebumps. And so one of the things I've taught on lessons on why you need to have these on, one of the things I've taught, I say, give them goosebumps. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves an impression on people when you put these coins in their hand, and especially when you make that noise like that. So you have to have a belief in the product and service. And one reason I have that belief is that I keep these on my person. I don't leave home without it. Okay. Because I believe in what we're doing. I believe in everything about what we're doing. The products, the services, you know, the healthcare program, the whole 9 yards and stuff. And so I'm a part of that. And so one of the ways you can increase your belief is by participating. You know, one of the things that increase your belief as far as the numismatic coins is by buying the numismatic coin, getting on a coin drop, getting one of those coins, you know, that was hard to get. So not only do you need to have belief in the company, you also need to always be working on your belief and your product and service. That's why I study gold and silver, because I know you can only afford to have the deer in the headlight look so many times when people start asking you about what it is we do. I let people know. I mean, one of the specialties of 7K Metals, we specialize in modern day collectibles, okay? Modern day collectibles. Because most time when people think about collectibles, they think about something that's 20 years old, something that's 50, a couple hundred years old. But 7K's claim to fame, we specialize in modern day collectibles, all right? So I have a belief, and I show people from time to time what I'm achieving. My FedEx guy, he knows, you know, I see him a couple times every week, okay? So not only do you need a belief in your company, number 2, you need to have a belief in your product or service. Number 3, you need to have a belief in the industry of network marketing, okay? And let's not try to shirk it. Let's not try to play around with words and stuff. We are in network marketing. This is not net wish marketing. And people say, okay, I'm in, you know, because I guess some of the bad press that the industry gets from time to time for the people that are the shysters in the industry. But ladies and gentlemen, I am proud of the fact that, you know, I am a professional full-time network marketer. I'm proud of that fact. Just like the doctor is glad about telling people he's a doctor, just like the attorney is glad to tell people she's an attorney, I speak with just as much of pride and say I'm a full-time network marketer. There's no shame in my game as far as what it is I do, okay? Now, do I have multiple streams of revenue? Absolutely. I'm a part owner of a roofing business. Okay, I have a consulting business. But when it comes to network marketing, I have one business, and that's 7K Metals. I mean, I know it's not popular nowadays because there's some people that believe they can climb 2 mountains at the same time. But I tell people I treat this business like my marriage. Me and my wife, September the 16th, be married 34 years. I'm not looking for a lady on the side. I'm not looking for a side piece. 7K Metals, I mean, we married for the last 6.5 years. We've had anniversaries. We got another anniversary coming up November the 5th. Yeah, we married. This is my company. When people want to know what company I'm in, they know I'm in 7K Metals because I believe in the industry, and I believe when it's done right, you know, this business can allow you to live a lifestyle that most people dream about. And so, and one of the ways you can have confidence in the industry and not be afraid of people calling it a pyramid, because I be hoping. I mean, in the beginning, I was just as irritated when people was call my business a pyramid and everything, and I want to argue and tell me you don't know what a pyramid. But now, because I know how to handle it and I know how to diffuse the situation, I be hoping they say the word pyramid. I be hoping, come on, say the P word. Say the P word. Come on, please say the P word. Because now, I mean, I know how to diffuse the situation. Because here's the truth of the matter. And here's what you need to put in your arsenal. Most of the people that use the word pyramid, they wouldn't know a pyramid if they were standing in Egypt, okay? Let me say that again. Most of the people that use the word pyramid, they wouldn't know a pyramid if they were standing in Egypt. Okay. Now I got several different ways. You know, I've listened to the masters on how to handle it. One of the ways is that when they say, hey, you know, so you saying it's a pyramid? Okay. I said, what is a pyramid? And I just asked them. They said, well, you know, it's one of those kind of thing where, you know, people that, you know, and it's bad. I said, well, no, it's not one of them. They said, well, it's not one of those kind of things. I can build a team and I can make money and stuff. I said, well, you're going to love this one. So I just asked him, what is Eric Warren? He teaches, hey, when they use the word pyramid, he said, well, you got a story. I mean, what's your story? And he have them to tell them about his story. Okay. So again, I don't run away from that, because the truth of the matter is most of the time when people use it, they don't understand. Because here's the definition of a pyramid. A pyramid, okay, well, there's two types. There's legal and there's illegal. All right. Because the structure is definitely a pyramid. But we're not the only business that's structured like a pyramid. You look at any major company in corporate America, it is structured like a pyramid. You know, GM, okay, GM. At the top, there's a CEO. Below that is some upper level there's some vice presidents, upper level management, lower level management. And then at the bottom is all of us down here doing the work. If you draw it out, what does that look like? Okay. If you look at the US government, there's only one president. Okay. Then you got the vice president. You got the, you know, all the different branches of the government and stuff. And then you got all these people at the bottom. If you draw it out, what does it look like? Go to a church. You got a pastor. You got assistant pastor. You got deacons. You got ushers. And you got all the members. Draw it out. What does it look like? Okay. But there's two types of pyramids, ladies and gentlemen. There's legal and that's illegal. An illegal pyramid is when money is exchanged, but no goods or services are rendered to the end user. That constitutes an illegal pyramid. Once the government does the research on it, they shut you down. Okay. And also nowadays they've added another qualification. Now it can't just be internal consumption of your product or service. They consider you a legal business if at least 2/3 of the product or service that you market is being consumed by people that are not benefiting from the compensation plan. Okay. 7K Mellors has as much as 80% of the people that are buying the product or service that are not benefiting from the compensation plan. All right. What's a legal pyramid? A legal pyramid is when money is exchanged, but also goods or services are rendered to the end user. That constitutes a legal pyramid. Okay. So again, I love the fact I'm in there with my, why do I have confidence in it? Because we talked about it on our Friday morning motivation call is this. Last year, everybody, I'm seeing if you guys study your industry. How much revenue was generated worldwide in 2022 in network marketing as a whole? How much revenue? Somebody throw the numbers out there. So I looked it up last year. David Smith said 40. I'm talking worldwide, not US, worldwide. David said 44 million. I'm going to say it's more than that, David. Let me see some other numbers. I want you to understand how much revenue this industry generates for people talking about, you know, illegal pyramid. Carmen, you said billions. Okay, that's accurate. It is in the billions. Okay. Joseph Bladden, okay. Dr. Lewis, okay, 100 billion, you close. Seth Lucia, 280, you're a little above. Sally Mary, 88. Okay, Joseph Bladden must have looked at the same article I looked at yesterday. It was a little over $200 billion worldwide that was generated from network marketing companies all over the world. A little over 200 billion, okay? Now, Amway is still the biggest player out there. Amway does 8 to 15 billion a year still today, okay? Melaleuca, the company that Roger Ball started, it's a $3 billion a year company. So the reason why I have so much confidence in this industry is because last year, network marketing did over 200 billion last year. Billion, not million, 200 billion. That's more than the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball and the National Hockey League combined. Okay? Combined. That's what happened in network marketing last year. So you need to have confidence and you need to have a certain amount of belief in the industry because it has created more millionaires than any other form of business in the world. All right. So not only do you need to have a belief in your company, you need to have belief in your product or service. You need to have a belief in the industry. And last but not least, you need to have a belief in yourself. Okay. And truth be known, that's where many of you guys are failing. That's what many of you guys are lacking because you don't have a belief in yourself. Here's one of the things I want to share with you guys, and it's something I share with entrepreneurs on a weekly basis. What you need to understand is that the moment you sign on the dotted line here in 7K Metals, you are good enough. You got to get there. You are good enough. The moment you sign on the dotted line. But in order for you to do something that you've never done, you're going to have to become somebody that you've never become. That means you got to be willing to go through a metamorphosis from that caterpillar to that butterfly. You're going to have to be willing to take the disappointments, the attrition, being bad-mouthed, folk talking about you, family members, loved ones. You got to be willing to go through all of that in order to have the kind of success that most people dream about. But if you're willing to do that and that's why we encourage you to read the books, the tapes, the Audible, the CDs, do you, but become a better version of you. And if you're willing to work on yourself, as the great Jim Rohn would oftentimes say, if you're willing to work, you'll have success in network marketing when you work hard on yourself and you do on your business. So if you're willing to work on yourself, to go through the metamorphosis, because at the end of the day, you don't get a chance to make what you want. You get a chance to make who you become. If you become more, you can earn more. Some of y'all want to make $10,000 a month. Well, you're going to have to become the kind of person that will attract $10,000 a month to a business. Some of you want to make $50,000 a month. You're going to have to become the kind of person that attract $50,000 a month leaders to your business. Because you don't get a chance to make what you want. You get a chance to make who you become. And if you're willing to pay the price, if you're willing to go through that metamorphosis, if you're willing to fight your way out of that cocoon, my promise to you today is that success will not elude you. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done for the day. But let's finish out the day strong. I'm looking at the report this morning. There are a few thousand of you that are close to another 250, another 500, 1,000, all the way up to 12,500. So let's stretch ourselves. I'll be up to midnight. So if anybody needs a three-way call or whatever the case may be to help you close out some things, let's go ahead and make that happen. So anybody got any questions, comments, anything before we wrap it up today? Just raise your hand. We'll allow you to unmute. Anybody? All right. I don't see anybody. So ladies and gentlemen, let's work on ourselves. Let's become a better leader. Let's make sure that we are well represented in New Jersey on next weekend and in 2 weeks from today in Seattle with myself and top leaders there and Blake there in Seattle, Washington. Let's close out the year strong. Let's make this second half of the year better than the first half. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you guys, not just at the top. We're going to see you guys over the top. And always remember, it takes leaders who have a vision to lead the people who have a dream. God bless. Have you guys an incredible day. I'll see you over the top.